Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be watching or listening to us from. My name is AyoT, and this is the Naija FC Podcast on Eagles Tracker, the home of Nigerian football. Another week, and we are here for another exciting episode. On this episode of Naija FC Podcast, we are, of course, going to be reviewing the past weekend's action, highlighting Nigerian players who have performed well over the past weekend. We'll get into the WAFCON, and Morocco really withdrawing from their hosting duties of the WAFCON 2026. That is less than 2 months away. We would, of course, talk about the January transfer window. It has been a very, very busy January for Nigerian players moving from club to club. And we had just as busy a deadline day with several Nigerian players, including top Super Eagles players, moving on deadline day in the January window. I have noted 34 different transfers of Nigerian players in this January window. Of course, we can't talk about all 34 on today's show, but we'll talk about some of the big ones and we'll talk about the deadline day transfers as well. What does this mean for the players? What does this mean for the Super Eagles of Nigeria? What does it mean for Nigerian football? We'll get into all of that. And as always, we'll wrap up by giving you guys, the audience, a chance to call into the show and to air your thoughts on any of the topics that we have discussed. So sit back, relax, grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your wine, your juice, whatever it is that you like to drink or eat while you enjoy the show, and let us get into the one for today. I'll start with a review of the past weekend's action and just quickly highlight a bunch of Nigerian players that performed well over the weekend. We'll start with goalkeepers. Arthur Okonkwo kept a clean sheet in goal for Wrexham as they skimmed a 1-0 victory in the EFL Championship. And just on this Monday, Maduka Okoye kept a clean sheet in goal while making 3 saves for Udinese in their impressive 1-0 Italian Serie A victory over AS Roma. That's a very big victory for Udinese in the Italian Serie A. If I'm not mistaken, Udinese are now up to 9th in the league. And yeah, they're having a good season so far. Credit to Maduka Okoye and the team for that one for sure. Over to the defenders, we have Ashley Plumter, who had a very good game for Etihad Ladies with 3 tackles, 5 goals, 1. That was a good one, a big win for them in the Saudi Arabian Women's League as well. Chibuike Nwanwu, 1 chance created and 8 goals, 1 for Trabzonspor SK in the Turkish Super League. We had Olaoluwa Aino, 2 interceptions, 4 clearances, 11 goals, 1. A fantastic display for Ola Aino in Nottingham Forest 1-1 draw against Crystal Palace, that of course featured Chrysanthus Uche, another Nigerian player. Midfielders, we have Chinwendu Nkama scoring 1 goal, creating 1 chance for Stade El Uki in Switzerland. We had Ibrahim Jabbar with 1 tackle and 7 goals, 1 for Stellenbosch in South Africa. Tomiwa Dele Bashiru, 2 chances created, 6 goals, 1 for Gençler Beligi in the Turkish league. We had Anthony Dennis with 1 chance created, 2 interceptions, and 4 goals, 1 for Göztepe, also in Turkey. And then moving over to the forwards, Moses Uso scored a very fine goal, a very, very good goal for Lask Linz in Austria as he came off the bench to score the winner and send his team to the semi-final of the Austrian Cup. Soliu Afolabi was also on target for Slovan Liberec in the Czech Republic. We had Abubakar Gali with 1 assist for Sigma Olomouc, also in the Czech Republic. Samuel Akere scored his first goal for NK Osijek after joining the club earlier in the month. We had Ifeanyi Eze with 2 goals for Wellington Phoenix in Australia. Kashim Segun was on target for PDRM FC in Malaysia. Polonwatru scored 1 goal and also unfortunately missed a penalty for Trabzonspor in Turkey. Rafiu Durosimi came off the bench to assist a goal for Pisa SC as they fell to a defeat in Italian Serie A. Tosin Kennedy was on target for Bandırmaspor in the 2nd division over there in Turkey. Joy Omewa scored a debut goal for Nottingham Forest as they fell to a defeat in the English WSL 2. We had Monday Etim with a goal for Craiova. We had Chibuike Ikwe Messi with 1 goal for OH Leuven in Belgium. And then we had Victor Osimhen scoring his 200th career goal and also providing an assist for Galatasaray SK in the Turkish Super League. That is how the Nigerian players performed over the weekend. Those are the top performers over the weekend, I should say. And of course, if I missed anybody, if there's any player that you feel like should have been there that I didn't call, we can't cover every single person, but of course, feel free to leave it in the comments who you think performed well over the weekend, who you were impressed with, who did not impress you. But yes, that is the review of the performances over the weekend. I'll just highlight a couple players that I think we have to give credit to for their performances. I'll start with Joy Omewa, new player, new signing for Nottingham Forest FC in the English WSL2. That's the Women's Super League 2, the second division of women's football in England. She joined the team and she hit it firing from the very beginning, scoring a goal on her debut. It was the goalkeeper could have done better with the shots, but still, all goals count the same, whether scrappy, whether lucky or not. The goals count the same, and I'm just happy that she was able to go and get a goal scoring debut because, of course, Joy Omewa, if you've been following her, she has built a reputation for scoring goals in Fortuna Hiorin, where she was coming from. And I was very, very curious to see how she would do moving to, England, a different land, a land with more eyes on her. And I'm just happy that even though her team lost the game, unfortunately, she was able to get a goal. I'll also just highlight Chibuike Nwanwu. He's been a steady performer for Trabzonspor since he joined them. Moved from Wolfsberger AC in Austria earlier in the January window, and he's just been showing that he's a good player. He stepped up to the level quite well, and he's somebody that I think we really need to keep our eyes on and see how he continues to develop as a football player. I interviewed him last year in 2025, and he said he was giving himself 2 years. He said it in that interview that he's given himself 2 years to become a Super Eagles player. And the way he's doing, the way it's going, I think those 2 years might even be too long before he eventually gets a chance to show what he's made of. So I think that's a player that we need to keep an eye on. And I want to mention another defender, but before I do, let me bring on my co-host because you guys know I don't do this just by myself. Smith Layi is here with us once again. Or not. As soon as I was about to bring him on, Smith Layi, Smith Layi, I don't know what's going on with his connection, but I believe that he'll be back on here. Apologies for that. Smith Layi is having technical difficulties, but he will be with us whether we like it or not. Smith Layi will be with us on today's episode. Smith Layi will be with us on today's episode. I can see somebody's asking me a comment on the a question in the comments. So yes, thank you, Charles. Like I always say, if you want me to take your comment, highlight it on screen, please, please, please make sure that you always send it with a super chat. That way we can prioritize your comments. We can put it on screen, answer whatever it is that you have to say. Or join the channel as a member. Lots of exclusive content will be coming out this year. Members will be getting early access to certain videos that we're releasing. So please, you can also join the channel as a member, and that is something that's going to be greatly appreciated. The link is in the description. The link is on our page if you go to the YouTube homepage. But yes, okay. So I'm trying to buy some time for Smith Layi to rejoin. I'm not sure what is going on with his connection, but in his absence, I'll just keep going. So I was going to highlight Olaoluwa. Olaoluwa, of course, Nottingham Forest defender. His team went down to 10 men and they had to battle, but Olaoluwa looked like a very, very good player. I was watching his clips, his highlights from that game, and I was just like, man, I know that we did well with Brightside something like the AFCON, but I was just like, damn, like Olaoluwa brings a different kind of dynamic. He's so good, he's so calm, he moves the ball well, he dribbles with the ball so well, he defends so well. And I'm just happy to see him fit playing his football again. I'm really just happy to see him perform at that kind of level. I thought he did very, very well for 10-man Nottingham Forest against Crystal Palace, and it's no surprise that as soon as he became fit again, he was slotted back into their lineup. Olaino is such a good player, and I wanted to hear what Smith Layi has to say about Olaino's performance over this weekend. Let's try it again, and let's hopefully Smith Layi's connection he stays with us this time. Smith Layi,
yeah, thank you. I think maybe probably Amafia was having. Is camera okay?
You're angled awkwardly a little bit.
Okay, right. So let me just try and adjust myself quickly because it just went over the last time around. So
Okay.
just I'll be back. Just try and adjust to see. I think.
Smith Layi is not ready for us today, but we'll give him the grace. We're not here last week, so we'll give him grace. He just needs to recalibrate. a little bit, but we're going to get his thoughts on Olayo's performance over the weekend. As you're joining, guys, please make sure you're hitting like button. Make sure you're hitting like button. It goes a very, very long way for the channel. Make sure you're hitting the like button. Somebody's asking, what is the cost implication of being a member? There are 3 tiers of membership on our YouTube channel. There are 3 tiers of membership. If you click on it, you will see the prices for each. You see the price for each tier, and of course, you will see what you are getting, what the value return is at each tier of the membership. So please check that out. Check that out. I can't really go over all the numbers on a stream that we're talking about something else, but you can of course check that out. And all members are really appreciated. Okay, Smilai, are we ready?
Yeah, I think it should be fine now.
Yeah, I mean let's go. So that we don't burn too much more time.
Yeah, yeah. So nice to actually to be here one more time, and we were only here last week. So I've been listening to you, and you're talking about how Nigerian players should perform last week. I don't know the one you want me to take over.
No, so yeah, I wanted to hear your thoughts on Olaino's performance for Forest against Palace.
Good, good, good. I was, if you since he came back from injury, he had this slow start. I was game against West Ham, but since then he kicked on. See, there's one thing you cannot deny. All I know will give you at least 7 out of 10. And that's why he's rated probably one of the best right back in the English Premier League last season. So I was really impressed with what we did. And when I saw the stats, I also saw what he posted too about him. I was really, really impressed. I was really, really impressed. Maybe probably, just need to actually keep it up. Don't forget that he meets nearly half of the season with injury now. So he's now making up. And I'm impressed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me also ask you about Joy Omewa. I spoke about her earlier. She made a move to Nottingham Forest in the WSL2, and she had
Yeah.
a scoring debut. What do you think about her debut and of course her making that transfer in general?
For me, it was the goal. The way she took the goal, like a typical, Drogba-like striker. And I was impressed. See, some players are talented. Some players just need that opportunity. Now she is somewhere that people can easily watch her and know her ability. I'm really impressed with her. And don't be surprised that she might not even spend 1 year, in that play before she will get picked up by one of the best clubs in England. So me, I'm actually happy for her. It's just for her to continue to do this. I have to be honest with you. Made this confession too. I didn't rate her highly. We're used to this Ifanyo Numeno, we're used to Francisca Odega, but she's like bringing your Paranose type of vibes to the Falcons, and I think that if she continues that way, he's going to relax whatever.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Let's also talk about Rafi Drosimi. Of course, we've spoken about him severally on the on the show, and he made a move to Pisa SC in Italian Serie A. He's now played 3 games for them. He has 1 goal, and his most recent game, he got 1 assist as well.
Yeah.
How are you liking his performances so far in the Serie A?
For me, I wasn't pleased with that he went to Pisa. We know that Pisa is condemned, to go there. But I'm happy. And he's playing under Alberto Giladi, which I think that he is a fantastic player, in his days. And he was part of the team that won the World Cup in 2006. I like him as a player, and for me, if he's bringing that vibes as a player to as a coach, I know what he wants from a coach. He likes a ball playing striker, which I think Rafi Drosimi provides for him. So I think as a player, Rafi Drosimi will improve under Alberto Giladi, if he's not fired, very soon. So I'm happy that he's 1 goal, 1 assist is not bad in 3 games. But I just think that those type of things need to turn to results, if the club as a whole, because you get joy too based on the way your club is performing. Because if your club is doing well, you're in a mid-table club, Juventus can gamble. But if you are a relegation threatening club, those that will come for you, if your club go down, will be Torino. Torino, Udinese, no, not Empoli. No, those type of clubs in the middle, that's the one that actually come for you if you go down. So for me, I think the performance needs to lead up to the team actually what overall performing well.
Amazing. Let's also talk about our star boy, Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen scored a goal from the penalty spot and officially joined the 200 goals, in his career club. Osimhen has played 336 games at first team level and has 200 goals. 76 for Napoli, 51 for Galatasaray, 35 for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We have 20 for RS Shalewa, and we have 18 for LOSC Lille. 336 games, 200 goals. Smith Layi, has Victor Osimhen officially announced himself as the best striker that Nigeria has ever seen?
I will still not say that, but the record is frightening, AyoT, and I can tell you anywhere that if you have that record of like average of like 0.6 goals per game, in competition, that is a lot. I'm not sure how many the ratio for Ronaldo. No, or sorry, Penaldo. I don't know how many penalties does he score. but for me, fantastic. There's one good thing about him. He scored the official goal, the one we can see, not the one he scored in Olusosun. We didn't count it. Like some people say they scored 1,500 goals. They counted the one that is aside with it. But Victor Osimhen, the ones that we played in Euro of a national team, is one that we're counting here. I'm happy for him, and I think he's one of the best striker and the guy should whatever had. But is he the best? I don't actually want to know. Is he the best? I don't know. I think he probably needs to probably score the World Cup. He scored 4. People are complaining, oh, he's only scored 1 goal at the AFCON. Now he scored 5 goals at the AFCON now. So now he needs probably to score maybe probably at the World Cup. Then now we're like, okay, win something, score at the World Cup, maybe probably is going to be the best ever. Because you still have players like whatever. I mean, did so well for Nigeria too. Players like Hasidi Ekin, the great himself. Even Thompson Osimhen, fantastic player in his guys. So I just think that he needs to get that national team, slightly actually score the most important goals. He has been scoring that one now, and I'm really actually happy for him.
This is what I'll say. For me, maybe I'm showing my age. I think Osimhen is the best striker that Nigeria has ever had. Now, is he the greatest striker that Nigeria has ever had? No. Greatness, is measured with individual accomplishments as well as overall team success. He needs to win something with Nigeria for him to be put at the level of greatness of the likes of the Ekinis and the legends that came before him. But for me, in terms of just ability, God rest his soul, I never watched Rashidi Yekini. Have I seen videos? Have I seen clips? Yes, I have. But I never watched him play week in, week out the way I've watched Osimhen play week in, week out. And for me, I have not seen anybody that is just as good as Victor Osimhen. That you go into every game against whoever believing that this guy will do something. This guy can produce magic. This guy can score a goal. I rate Victor Osimhen so highly. And that's why in the past, when we've said certain things that might have come across harsh with regards to the club that he's playing for, the decisions that he's making or the way he conducts himself in public, it's not because we are hating on him. It's because we know that he has so much potential. His ceiling is so high. And it's crazy to say, but when I think about Victor Osimhen, I still feel like this is a guy that can get better. This is a guy that can still add 1 or 2 more things to his game. And when you compare him to other great players in the past, look, Obafemi Martins took 494 goals to score 294 games to score 200 goals. Odion Igalo took 471 games to score 200 goals. Samuel Eto'o took 348 games to score 200 goals. Didier Drogba took 440 games to score 200 goals. But Victor Osimhen only took 336 games to reach 200 goals in his career. So when you have records that are surpassing the great Nigerian players of the past, and even surpassing some of the greatest African players ever, the likes of Samuel Eto'o, Didier Drogba, for me, I have to give Osimhen his respect. He's one of those players that, of course, he's still active. So we look at it a little bit different than, after the fact when you are viewing a legend. I think Victor Osimhen is doing so well for himself. He should be delighted with his 200 career goals. There's so much more to come. We need to see him continue to deliver at this level, deliver at a higher level. Ultimately, for his greatness, all that is missing is just for him to win something with Nigeria.
Let me just say something about that. I know that you have mentioned, and I know that there is a word of stats. And stats rules the world now. But I just think it's unfair because if you look at see, Samuel Eto'o scored about 19 or 20 goals for playing for Mallorca. In the Spanish La Liga before Barcelona picked him up. So he scored those goals across Spanish La Liga, Italian Serie A, for Barcelona, for Mallorca. He didn't score that one in France. He didn't score it in Belgium. But kudos to Victor Osimhen, for getting those numbers. But I understand from your own angle too that a goal is a goal. No matter where you score it, a goal is a goal. If you have played football here, goal scoring is the most difficult something ever. I play football. If I get goal post down, it's my eye they blur. As if say I was 0. So I know say goal scoring is very difficult. So kudos to Victor Osimhen for doing that. But the legends of the past, you know how difficult it is to score in those leagues too. If the numbers are just
I understand. Like, again, I'm not saying that he's better or greater than every single person. I'm just putting it, side by side. At the end of the day, look, it's the way we compare in football, whether we like it or not. We use statistics, and when you look at the statistics, when somebody has statistics that surpass, certain other players, it just puts it in context as to how well the person is doing. Yes, it's Belgium. Yes, it's France. Yes, it's Turkey. Italy. It's not England. It's not Spain. I understand that. I just think that Osimhen is doing very, very well for himself, and I want to accord him with the respect and with the plaudits that he deserves. Let's give him his flowers while he's still active, and then of course we'll keep watching and monitoring to see what else he can achieve in his career. Osimhen still has a long time to go. Last, some of our legends now Saudi Arabia they play right now, and they are still counting the numbers. Oh, he's trying to hit 1,000 goals. It's still in the numbers. When he gets to 1,000, nobody will say, but he scored 200 in Saudi. He go. So at the end of the day, as long as you are getting those numbers, very, very impressive. Okay, let us move forward very quickly. Shout out to Victor Osimhen. Let us move forward very, very quickly. Smith Layi.
Yes.
Let's just get a little bit into the local football. Let's get into the Nigerian scene. I saw a video posted by Abu Aziz, former Sand Eagles captain, former Imperial player, where he was throwing back to last season after Remo Stars won the league. He said that they better be ready for the new season. And based on all available evidence, it seems like they were not ready for the new season. Remo Stars currently struggling in the FPFL. Like, what do you have to say about that?
For me, I think I didn't expect it to come this early. And it's always in Nigeria that a team will win the league one season, the next season it goes to relegation. It comes back again, it wins the league. There is no gap. There is no gap between the second division and the first division of Nigeria. So for me, I also think I can't just compare what happened. That tells you about the level of our football in general in Nigeria. If you in one season you sell 20 players in one season and you recruit 25 players in the other season, how is that one sustainable? I don't think it's sustainable. So that's one I think that Remo actually was struggling. The majority of the players that played for them last year, they have moved on. Secretly, it's Nigeria. The captain, Uduka Junior, is currently in Iraq. Ngenge is in a Leeds Academy in England. Sadiq, the last time I saw him was hitting, rising and stand, but I think probably he's now in Austria, somewhere doing trials. So the guys are not really there again, and that is how you can easily watch just fall down. I think it's based on not being able to manage very well. I expect Kunle Shiname, fantastic businessman, good sport administrator, to know exactly what to expect. It's going to be calamity if Raymond Stars actually would go down in the second division, and it's not going to be worth it at all for clubs. Another thing I want to mention basically is that since the start of the season, they have been renovating their home stadium. The games are going maintenance, so it's not ready yet. So they have not been able to play at home. For example, today they played their home game at the Sam Ugomedia Stadium in Benin City against Plateau United, and they lost 2-1 in that game. So I don't think they will lose that game if it's like in the Remo Township Stadium. So Part of the reason is also, they don't have any home ground now. They can play in Ibadan today, Abeokuta tomorrow, Benin City the next day. So there's no home ground for them now. So I just think that as soon as they fix it too, they should be back. But it's so sad that they are fighting relegation now.
Mm.
They have the experience to come back.
They do, they do. Well, let's also talk about the team that is currently sitting on top of the league table. We're talking about Rivers United. On top of the league table in Nigeria, but bottom of the table in their CAF Champions League group. They are on the verge of getting out of the tournaments. They have 1 point out after 4 matches so far. Of course, if they depending on the results of the other game, when RS Bekin take on Power Dynamos, they are probably going to officially be knocked out. Their next game is in a few days against Pyramid of Egypt,
Mhm.
and in that group. Why is it that Rivers United can be doing so well on the home front, but doing so poorly on the continent?
Is the competition on the home front? I know people don't understand the level of football on the home front. I don't know if you listened to the interview of your very good friend Uge Yonazi when they said that you went to Serie D. Why can't you come and play in the MPFL? He said no. Serie D is not the same level as the MPFL. To tell you that's how bad we are. I think the competition on the home front is not really good compared to what they face in the African continent. So, in fact, even majority of our best players move on to Tunisia, to Zambia, to Tanzania. So, it's the remnants you actually would have here. So, it's what they are facing on the home front. It's not as difficult as what they are facing in the continent. So, I saw them, they just run like endless ticket. So, I don't see, you did respect, I don't see any future. They are just bunch of untalented players. They don't, I know the coach, no clue. I watched the away game against Power Dynamos in Zambia. Also the home game in Uyo. Nothing. You can't see anything about it. So for me, it's just extremely very bad. I think that we need to do something fast now because if Rivers should crash out this way, the Malian clubs are doing very well in the continent. Man might probably overtake us and get two slots in
In the
these
ranking.
two slots in the ranking and get two slots for CAF Champions League and two slots for the CAF Confed Cup if care is not actually what take it. So for me, I think the NFF and NLC and the NLC also they need to do something drastic quickly now to change the narrative. Is the competition on the home front is not good at all. That's why we cannot compete at the continental level.
Very, very sad, very, very sad. But it's at the end of the day, it's our reality, and
Mm-hmm.
there is no magic fix for this. It is something that is going to happen only with intentional efforts from the
Mm-hmm.
administration. For them to actually put the right systems in place to make our league formidable, to make our league a league that the best players are not running away from. Because at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, if our best players always leave the league as soon as they get a little bit of visibility and a little bit of performance, then we're almost never really going to be able to compete. And it's a
Yes.
shame, but it's our reality. It's our
Mm-hmm.
reality. Hopefully,
Yes.
somebody that has the power to make some change actually starts to do some. Um,
Yes.
because we cannot keep clinging on to the MPFL's claim to fame now is whenever an MPFL player goes to Europe and maybe starts doing well, then I say okay, the MPFL can produce players. Yes, the MPFL can produce players, but what is happening in the league? We look at other African countries, they produce players as well, but their league is
Mm-hmm.
still a formidable and considerably good league. You look at the
Mm-hmm.
South American leagues, the same thing. North American leagues, even same thing. A player just moved to Atletico Madrid from the USA today. Not an American, but from the MLS. So even the leagues that we as Nigerian fans sometimes like to look down on or like to talk down on, they are still doing much better than ours.
Yes.
That's why we see even our players, our Super Eagles players, going to Tanzania, going to all these other leagues once they get a little bit of visibility and once they show promise in the MPFL. That's why a player is leaving the MPFL to join an academy in England. So honestly,
Mm-hmm.
there's so much more that we can and should be doing, but
Yes.
unfortunately, those that are in this position don't really do
Well,
too much.
but I want to ask you a question.
Okay, go on.
What is the level of the NPFL?
It's honestly, it's hard to say exactly what the level
Do
is.
you think it's like non-league in England or it's even less?
Ah, if I say it's less than non-league, that will sound very harsh, but let's say it's on like the non-league level, with the likes of the Harrogate, And
You think that you can compete against those people?
maybe like it's hard for me to say, it's hard for me to say. But can I say that? Can I beat my chest and say, okay, Rivers United would beat Grimsby Town? No.
No.
Can I? That's League Two. So
Mhm.
for me, I have to say, it's like on a non-league level, and it is a shame because you are getting paid, but you are not. We're essentially saying that you are as good as the boys that work their 9 to 5 and they come and play on the weekend and in the evenings. You
Hmm.
know, so we need to do better. We need to do better. We need to do better. Again, I am young, but I'm old enough to know the days where people actually took pride in our league. People actually took pride in following the league. The league was still reputable. We've fallen so far down the ladder that it seems like an impossible climb right now. But again,
Mhm.
every journey that seems impossible, just take it step by step, and eventually you get there. But if you keep looking at it and just say, no, it's too far, it's too far, it's too far, you're never going to get there. So for me, yes, things are bad right now, but it's not impossible to recover. We just
Yeah.
have to start taking those actions.
Yeah. 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 Sorry. So this person not come with Tupasha, but he mentioned something that we don't love local football in Nigeria. That's the situation key that football. Do you agree with that?
It's a
Like because we
very
don't show them
it's
love.
a very two-sided thing. It's catch is the chicken and the egg. Look, do we love local football? No, we don't love it as much. But is the local football giving people something to love? No. So now it's like that you're telling people that, okay, regardless of how bad the product is, just patronize because it's our own. Regardless of how bad it is, just patronize. That's essentially what you're telling people if you tell them, oh, you don't love local football. Because why is it that people would gather to watch charity matches? People would gather to watch children's competitions. People would gather to watch underage football. But then you're telling me that professional football in Nigeria cannot get people to come together to support together. It's because they're not giving them anything for them to really be noisy about. We look at even the clubs here and there that put in some efforts to get people together, the likes of the Sporting Lagos. We see that even though their product is not so high, they still get a good amount of people that are supporting them and are backing their project. Now they just need
Mhm.
their product to match the level of support and interest that they're getting. So it's a two-sided thing.
Mhm.
Sporting Lagos came with all the fanfare, everything. People were getting behind them. But unfortunately, they got relegated. They're not that good anymore. So people are naturally going to drop off a little bit. But then there are still people that have been forever fans of teams like Shooting Stars. You know,
Mhm.
ultimately, if the Shooting Stars package themselves well, put the right infrastructure in place, and start playing well, those people will be more than happy to go to the
Mhm.
stadium to support, to watch, to cheer them on, to buy their jersey, etc. What are the signs of a supporter? Watching
Mhm.
the games, buying the merchandise, cheering on the players.
Mhm.
Now, I'm just throwing this out from my head right now. I don't know this for a fact, but I'm sure if you go to the social media pages of all, maybe, or most of the 20 MPFL clubs that there are, and you say, okay, I want to buy their jersey, there'll be no clear direction for how you can even buy their jersey.
Mhm.
Maybe somebody will say, oh, you have to text one WhatsApp number or this thing. If you want to buy even all these creator YouTube leagues that they are playing in all these countries. If you want to buy
Mhm.
that jersey, you don't have to contact anybody. There's a clear
Mhm.
website that you just go to. You place your order in 1 week. It will be shipped to your door. Little
Mhm.
little things
Yeah.
like this. Okay, maybe we don't have that kind of infrastructure. Okay, do you have a store that I can walk to your store and say I want to buy? Okay, now somebody that is here, why should the person go to the stadium to watch game knowing fully well that all of a sudden now it can turn to riots? Not that, don't get me wrong, not that riots does not happen in other countries or in other leagues around the world,
Like
because
they
it
have
does.
come final. Yeah.
Yes, so in the AFCON final it can happen,
Mhm.
but the frequency of it happening is a bit too high. And then
Mhm.
in the rare occasion that something like that happens,
Mhm.
what are the security systems that are put in place to
Mhm.
prevent that person from being in
Mhm.
danger?
Mhm.
Little things like that. What is the value for their money? If I say I want to go now to watch an MPFL game and I want to go as a VIP, what am I getting for my VIP purchase, my VIP ticket purchase?
Just
Little
pop off.
so for me, I just see that, do people love local football as much? Probably not. However, what is there for them to love? What is there for them to love? What is there for them to love? It has to be a value exchange.
Yes,
If somebody all the way from Bono, Meduguri, can fall in love with Chelsea that he has never seen in his life, that he might never see in his life, if he can fall in love all the way from there, then just he can fall in love with the club that is close to him. But that club that is close to him has to give him something to love.
Yeah.
You can't tell him to do it like charity. You can't just be okay. Because it's, unfortunately, we're not there. What do these clubs do to bring people together? What do these clubs do to bring the communities that they are in together? So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. I happen to live in Canada, even though here soccer is not as big. You still see the clubs getting involved in the local communities, trying to engage, trying to reach the people, doing all sorts of initiatives to connect with the locals, because they realize that they need to earn your support.
I think they are doing that. I saw Ikorodu sharing rice also one day on the streets of Ikorodu. Maybe they are sharing their, I saw them sharing rice and just trying to connect with the locals.
With the locals.
Even Remo Stars too, I saw them trying to go around the Kenya. And you actually was right, but I don't think it's enough. You have to be consistent.
It has to be consistent. Again, stuff like that is, CSR that helps with connecting with the audience. But again, with all due respect, Smith Layi, you're not looking for who will give you rice. So somebody like you, them sharing rice does not necessarily do anything for you.
Yeah.
So they have to find a way to connect to people like you as well. You have to try to connect to people at all levels. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. But in Nigeria, we know that the easiest way for people in organizations to quote unquote connect with the Nigerian audience is through giveaway. Sometimes people say, oh, we leverage poverty a lot in Nigeria because people are hungry, people need money. So give away some money, give away some food, you can get people on your side. It is not bad because you're helping people, but you also need to find a way to connect with people across all the different classes, across all the different sections. Because again, look, football is a big money industry everywhere except Nigeria. And at the end of the day, the guy who is lining up to collect rice from you is not going to buy your jersey. Realistically. If he needs to queue to collect rice from you, he's not going to buy your jersey. So if you want to generate revenue, if you want to reach all classes of people, you have to find initiatives that reach all classes of people. CSR is good. Again, nobody should get me wrong. CSR is good. But there needs to be more action. There needs to be more intentional action. You need to hire people that are thinking about these things consistently. I doubt if many of these people have like proper marketing, PR teams and strategists that are working with them to really see how they can position themselves for a period of time. It's not a one-time thing. It's not a two-time thing. It's a plan for the next 5 years of what you're trying to do.
Yeah. Do you also think that maybe the people at the bottom of the pyramid in Nigeria is slightly higher? For example, now in the UK here, if you want to season, the SH come and collect season tickets, be paid small. For example, now they're advertising loan to come to America now to support England. So there's like something like that, in place for those that cannot actually afford it. You spoken well, and you talked about it. There's one now that I want to ask you, maybe probably 1 minute because times are different aspects. The issue of selling jersey. Sometimes I also look at it because I don't want to mention club here. I try to order a jersey. So they ask me to, you do. They give me directions. It's not, I expect you to let me just click and get it. And you're in the UK, and they don't have, it's not like Nike now. Might probably be Nike store in the UK, might probably Nike store in Japan and things like that. So those they don't have brand. I think it's Owu. I don't know, maybe it's Owu.
Yeah, Owu Sports.
Owu Sports. Is Owu Sport a global brand?
They're not global.
So how can someone like that now say, okay, you want to say yes here abroad? The cost self go be more than the jersey.
I understand that. And again, let's even say abroad. if at all you want to say abroad, because a lot of people from abroad are typically not buying MPFL jerseys, you make for me, if you say the buyer should bear the cost of shipping, the full cost of shipping, I understand. But at least those within Nigeria, it should be easy for them to purchase if they choose to purchase. Like I've got Sporting Lagos jersey. It was very easy to get. They didn't ship to me here, but it was very easy to purchase within Nigeria. They sent me one for free the first season, and I purchased one the next season, and it was easy to get within Nigeria. So abroad, if the shipping cost is maybe 40K, they might say, okay, it's not worth it for them, and plus if you ask the buyer to pay an additional 40K when the jersey itself is maybe 15, 20K, it can seem crazy. So I understand even if they don't necessarily cater to the foreign market, but at least within Nigeria, you have to make it easy for people. It shouldn't be any long instruction of, oh, well, you have to contact this person, you have to send this message on WhatsApp. No, it should just be a simple thing of, okay, go to this website, place your order, we'll ship it to you, or you can come and pick it up from our store.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Nigerian football, our problem is the full basket. But let us move on very, very quickly. It's been like something else that has been in the news, shifting gears to women's football. Over the past 24 hours, we've been hearing reports that Morocco are looking to withdraw as WAFCON 2026 host. Now, this all started when one of the leaders of football, the Ministry of Sports in South Africa, she made a statement saying that she's announcing to us that South Africa are going to host the tournament. Since then, we've seen that her Ogas have kind of reeled it back in and said, no, we have not been announced as the new host for the WAFCON 2026, but we are having conversations with CAF that, okay, in case they need us, we will be there to step in. And I saw a tweet from, was it Colin Udo earlier today, where he's essentially saying that what is going on behind the scenes that such conversations would even be happening. Why should we even at this point be saying, okay, in case we need South Africa, I hope you're ready for us in case we need. So what do you think is going on? Are Morocco being sore losers for the sanctions that were placed on them for everything that happened with AFCON? Or is this just bogus and there is no way that Morocco would not host the WAFCON that is supposed to start on the 17th of March? What do you think?
See, I've also seen claims and counter claims online too. Some people coming to defend Morocco, don't worry, Morocco, this team, Morocco, this and Morocco. See, AyoT, you cannot be having this conversation and does something not happen. Patrick Mosepe is from South Africa. If anybody will know exactly what is happening in CAF, first-hand information, it will be Danny Jordan and his people. And he's going to tell the ministries and the government of South Africa, okay, this and this, can we help out? So those that are saying that those conversations did not happen, see, if you know the character of the Moroccan FA president too, you will know. So when people are coming online to defend what is not, there have been conversations. And what you see here, AyoT, is power play. It's power play. It's like, come on, I've been rescuing you. You're this and that. I want to play this one now. This one, I'm not going to make money. I beg, find something to host it. So people that are coming to say this thing, there have been conversations. It's just that the woman that came to talk, they didn't use hot water to burn his mouth very well. Because those type of conversations you'll be in house first. Let's CAF announce it. Then you can now have that conversation. Now, because you don't put them out now, there's now pressure on Morocco. There's this in Morocco. The AyoT, see, anger can break things, can do bad things. See, Morocco don't know the consequences of not even playing this WAFCON. Why? They didn't play qualifier. So, if Morocco should withdraw now, they will not participate. They have to bring DR Congo because they're the next in line.
That means no
participate. Yes, because the last time this one happened, Ivory Coast pulled out last minute under 20 AFCON. We had to move to Morocco. But when Ivory Coast pulled out, they have to remove Ivory Coast's name. I have to push one of that name, put Egypt or so. They did the draw again. So the implication is that if Morocco did not participate, Morocco will be out of the next Women's World Cup in 2027. And I'm not sure that this man will not want that. So this is like a threat. for me to CAF, so that maybe scared, okay, next time around, I beg go, do them well. It might be that. In my opinion, those trying to debunk the claim is, if you know how CAF politics works, there are conversations. It's just that it's just like the elementary stage at the start, so there's no official statement. That's the reason why it's not actually worked out yet. See, if Morocco want to go and join UEFA, I wish them luck. If they believe that they want to go and join the AFC, let them go. Let them go. Football is for fairness. Football, for me, is, if you don't remove the fairness there, what are you now playing for? Somebody want to go and do exam, you go to see the results. Yeah, come on. What's that the examination for? It's not examination again. So if they want to do their thing, they should go. We appreciate that they have performed well for Africa, this so well for Africa, but the issue is this: Morocco is not Africa. It's not only about, we have 54 countries in Africa. So they should do their thing. If they want to withdraw, they should withdraw. CAF will look for ways around it. I'm even hearing that Ivory Coast even want to take it. If Morocco is not ready, Ivory Coast want to take it. Let's host it. But we will have love, but we don't have the capacity to actually want to take to host a 16 nation tournament. No, we can only host a 4 nation tournament. So for me, I think there's been conversations, but I just saying that if Morocco really wanted to withdraw from this WAFCON, I think we need to look for a different alternative, maybe probably in coming years for Morocco.
I like how you've already kind of given us what the potential implications of them withdrawing from the tournament would be. But do you think, from a logistical, from an organizational point of view, if they were to change the host nation all of a sudden, do you think that the tournament will suffer as a result? No matter how ready South Africa say they are or Ivory Coast say they are, if the change, let's say all of a sudden next week they tell us that it has been changed, do you think that this would affect the preparation, the organization, the football that we see at the WAFCON?
Yeah, I don't know if Christy is listening to me here. I sent that message. See, I come watching for Casablanca. I already planned to just go and watch maybe 1 or 2 games in Casablanca. Imagine I've already booked my flight, and suddenly I just heard that there's no AFCON there. So it's going to actually affect a team, a country that been just finished hosting the AFCON. The machinery they use for that AFCON is still actually in place for them to host the next tournament. So for me, I think it's a lot easier for them to actually do that. South Africa have not really hosted any tournament. I think they hosted T20. They just said T20 that they still had logistics in place for them to be able to do a WAFCON. But with due respect, I think the tournament that Morocco will give us is going to be different from the one South Africa will give us, because Africa is not prepared yet. If they informed them maybe probably a year ago, that'd be a lot actually better. So for me, I think that was logistics and everything. I think it's going to affect the team. But overall, for the fairness of the game, I think South Africa is a better host. Way better host.
And what does this say about CAF's over reliance on Morocco? Can other African nations step up? Because again, it's already unprecedented that Morocco would host 3 WAFCONs in a row, but it almost feels like we don't have a choice, so we have to give who is ready to help us. Is there a way that we can get away from this over reliance on Morocco?
Okay, it's not as if CAF is relying on Morocco. CAF normally asks people to come and bid, and suddenly nobody will bid. See, you know that in 2014, before 2014, they gave Cameroon to come and host the AFCON that they hosted, and up to the time they were not ready. So the logistics, the capital that you have to put in place to get it ready, some of these countries run away from it, especially if you don't have infrastructure. Let's look at it, AyoT. WAFCON is 16 teams. AFCON is 24 teams. For WAFCON, you will need 4 centers, at least for WAFCON. For AFCON, you might probably need at least 6 centers. Then you go and check the FIFA approved stadium, CAF approved stadium in the whole of the continent. It's on CAF website. How many countries can host at WAFCON now with 16 teams? How many countries can host AFCON? See, Nigeria, Togo, and Ghana cannot host WAFCON together. WAFCON, no? You were even mentioning Ghana. Ghana is not even a country. Sorry, it's a country, but Ghana is not even there. They don't have stadium at
They're
all.
not in the picture.
They don't even picture at all. They don't have any stadium at all. Okay, Benin don't even have one. Togo got one. Nigeria got one. Imagine. Senegal cannot even host. Ivory Coast can host because it just finished. Just finished this. The one that Joshua did. So,
Yeah.
how many countries can say that they can host IoT? Just count the continent from the north to south. Libya cannot host. Can the guy who host a qualifier? Libya, because they are very hostile hosts. CAF cannot even take a competition to Libya. So they are very hostile. How many countries can host? It's only Morocco, Algeria, Egypt. Tunisia cannot even host. Cannot host. They only have November 11th in rates. I mean, probably with one other. How many countries? Ethiopia have they cannot even Ethiopia, they don't have one stadium now. They only have their Abebe stadium. That is like I don't know, maybe you saw the Abebe stadium when Nigeria played against Ethiopia. What a log pitch, like Abebe stadium. So they cannot even host. They're just bidding for Morocco to host. You don't mind them. So 4 stadiums. Gabon only have 1, 2 stadiums. What is Gabon host? Only have 2 stadiums. So how many countries can host IoT? Only like 5 or 6, of the continent. So it's around these people that you can say, okay, who want to host? WAFCON is no longer 8 countries again. If it's 8 countries now, Ghana, Nigeria can look for a way to host. But nowadays, it's different. So it's not as if CAF is relying on them. It's just there's no option. That is it.
What can we say, man? It's a shame, but that's where we are right now. I think Mali. I'm saying that Mali have 5 approved. Okay, so Mali too can host if they want.
They have 5 approved. There was one. How many hotels they have around it? See, look at this in Tanzania. I was saying, hey, we have this demo, but there's no hotel. There's no hotel around it. All those things are part of the host too. Look at it. There's no hotel. Okay, you want to go? They are playing game in the forest. You want to go and what is this? Even first that is in Morocco, people still complain that about things around first compared to Marrakech and Casablanca. So this Tanzania, they're not ready. They're not ready at all. Forget what they're doing. All those Kenya. I'm not ready. See, to travel from Kenya to Uganda might likely take you a day, and there's stiff on the road. So there's it's a lot of things to work on there. They're not ready. Morocco will likely take it from them. You will see. We'll continue your team.
Oh boy, Africa, man. Hopefully, gradually, this thing starts getting improved. Otherwise, let's just stay with our Morocco and South Africa and Ivory Coast. They'll be switching it every now they're doing it every for 4 years. So the 3 of them will be rotating it. To feel like a long time by the time you get to that. So when it comes back to you, time would have passed. Okay, let me quickly just take some super chat comments that I have here. Shout out to Charles. He's saying, Smith, what happened to Ijabo? Talking about Remo.
He's been nothing for a very long time, and what I've been hearing is that he just be hailing the Remo Stars boss on Instagram. Hey, thank you, my boss. And I don't know what is happening between the two of them, but it's not been on touchline. He's the guy that from Portugal has been on touchline for a long time, and he's doing a very bad job, currently with Remo Stars. So I hope that if they have any differences, you settle it, because it's the club need to move forward.
And then Adedamola is saying the South African government officials were not supposed to say anything until CAF released an official statement. CAF is losing its power.
Yeah, I said it that the woman did not caution the woman very well. That's the reason why it meant to be on that grant and be announced probably next week. But the woman was, sometimes when you're too excited, so for something don't do it away, You say, Bayana, can you see us? Hey, Bayana, we are coming here, things like that for the World Cup, She was just too excited, that's what you get when you have that talks a lot, among your characters. That's it.
All right. Let's go over to transfers. I mean, like January has been a busy window. I have 34 transfers that are in my notes that happened
Mm-hmm.
involving Nigerian players this January, and I'm pretty
Mm-hmm.
sure that maybe there's a few of them that I did not even write down. I did not write down the ones that went to academy, and things like that. Just fresh transfers. We have 34 of them. We spoke about some of them on the last episode 2 weeks ago. And we'll talk about some of them now, and of course, we'll talk about the big one that happened on deadline day, or a few big ones that happened on deadline day. But let's start by talking about Salim Fago Lawal. Salim Fago joined Victoria Prison in the Czech League. One Nigerian striker left, another Nigerian striker took over. I have to give him Salim Fago Lawal, the Super Eagles forward. Replaced Rafael Durosimi in Victoria Prison. He already made his debut coming off the bench, not yet on the score sheet. But like, what are your thoughts on this move from Croatia to the Czech Republic, from Istria to Victoria Prison? Salim Fago Lawal, your thoughts?
Good move. Good move for him. A super good player replacing a Nigerian player because as he is now, those team is not a super good player. Good for me. It's good for his development. I didn't know that. I thought he's moving to a different club until Victoria Prison actually was given the picture. So I'm happy that he's there. Good move for him. Prison plays regularly in the Europa League or Conference League or even the Champions League sometimes. So I think he needs to establish himself very quickly and see exactly how things actually work. That is the benefit of doing well in a club. It opens door for others to come in. So I also hope that Sadim Fagolawa will also not shut the door on other Nigerian players that want to come to Victoria Prison.
Yeah, I agree. I am happy for him. I wish him the best. Like, I hope things go well for him. He has some physical traits that would make you believe that he can succeed at a level like that. And I really hope that he just puts in his best and gets the job done. And like you mentioned, when one Nigerian player does well, it opens the door for potentially another Nigerian player to come in. And hopefully he can live up to the standard that was set by Rafael Durosimi. Okay, moving on very quickly. We have another transfer, relatively smaller transfer than some of the other ones that we've had in this window. Afiz Aremu joined Aberdeen in Scotland. Like, you know the Scottish League fairly well. He has joined Aberdeen from Kaiserslautern in the second division in Germany. What do you think about this move, Afiz Aremu to Aberdeen?
I think he's living from a Division 2 to Division 1, but Scottish League is slightly lower league compared to where he's coming from. I'm happy for him. Former Nigeria 20 international, a very solid central midfielder. I'm happy for him, and you also know that he's UK. As he enter now, they are counting the years, so you never know. Maybe the move is economical. And also you never know. But I'm happy for him. Aberdeen is not a small team. They are. They might compete in Europe, maybe not in the Champions League, in the Europa League, in the Europa Conference League too. So it's not a bad move for him if he performs very well in the Scottish League. The Rangers of this world, the Celtic of this world can call on him again, then he can relaunch his career. So it can also be F.A. Ambrose. Say, okay, you know what? This is my final bus stop. Let me just stay here, become a coach, get my passport, settle with my family, enjoy myself. But I'm happy that at least he's playing.
Afiz Aremu is so interesting, the trajectory of his career. Look, he was playing for IK Start in the Norwegian League. He did quite well there, sent them up a level, did well for them. And then he moved to FC St. Pauli in the second Bundesliga at the time. And for me, I thought he had a decent time at FC St. Pauli, but I also feel like he thought he had arrived a little bit. He kind of started to rest on his laurels, and gradually his performance level was dipping from his first year at St. Pauli to the second year at St. Pauli to the third year at St. Pauli. His performance was just not the same. It just seemed like the next season was always slightly worse than the previous season. And then eventually he made his move to Kaiserslautern. And then when you're joining a team like Kaiserslautern, that's already a lower level, still in the second Bundesliga, but a lower level team. And then for whatever reason, look, I know that when players don't get playing time, I know enough to know that it is not simply always just, because the player is not good. There are other things that can happen behind the scenes that can affect this.
Yeah.
But when you go to a second Bundesliga team, after playing 3 consecutive years for St. Pauli, that was actually doing well in the league, He
Mm-hmm.
moved to Kazakhstan, and in his first in the Kazakhstan, I'm not sure if he got injured or not, but only played 5 games. And then the last season, this past season, 24-25, only played 12 games in the second Bundesliga. It's just not good enough. So far this season, he has been fit, only played 11 games for them so far this season. And a lot of them have been coming off the bench. So he's not a guy that, they really rate like that. He's not a guy that they really give that much game time. And then now moving to a team like Aberdeen, I watched his interview that he did with the club. He said that the club, he's trying to help them to get back to the level where they're supposed to be. Aberdeen are currently 7th in the
Mm-hmm.
Scottish Premiership. So at least Aberdeen is in the UK, like you mentioned. If he does well enough, Sir Alex Ferguson himself made his name in Aberdeen. Maybe somebody can spot him in the EFL Championship, thereabout.
Mm-hmm.
If he does exceedingly well, maybe like a relegation fighting team in the Premier League, maybe can take a chance on a player like him. The only thing
Yeah.
is that obviously he's not young anymore. He's 26 years old, so this is when he should be getting to the peak
26 is young, though.
of his powers. I mean, but in football, like you're getting to your peak,
Mm-hmm.
at 26. But nevertheless, I'm really hoping that things go well for him. I'm hoping that he can perform there. There are now a number of Nigerian players playing in Aberdeen, rather in Scotland, not Aberdeen. We have Kelechi Iheanacho, who Aberdeen are playing in 2 days' time. Kelechi Iheanacho with Celtic. We have Ibrahim Said with Motherwell. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully the Nigerian players there can make Scotland a home. And if we have enough Nigerian players that are playing and doing well in that league, then it's can again, like we mentioned, open doors for some other people to get a chance to come and
No,
play
we
there.
don't want the dog. We don't want that type of dog.
It's not. I mean, we're not saying Osimhen should go to Scotland, but some of the other younger players that are playing in Eastern Europe somewhere or that are playing in Asia, they might like a chance to come and play in Scotland and see what they can
Yeah.
offer.
Mm-hmm. And how
But
much
yeah,
will we pay in Scotland?
I don't know, but I mean, we wish him the best.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. Let's also talk about a Super Eagles player that made a move. I'm talking about Terem Murphy. Of course, if you've not been following, we know the story that happened with Terem Murphy, the incident with the fans of OGC Nice. We kind of saw the writing was on the wall that Murphy was going to leave Nice. And there were several teams that were interested in his services, but ultimately he has signed with FC Porto. He's going there to team up with Super Eagles defender Zedu Sanusi. For this one, of course, we know that Porto, they've been doing well as always in the Portuguese Liga Portugal, the first division over
Mm-hmm.
there. And he's going to be competing for a starting shirt with Nigerian Spaniard Samu Agewa. Smith
Mm-hmm.
Layi, what are your thoughts on Terry Murphy's move to FC Porto? Do you think this is the step in the right direction for him?
Yeah, I think it is. I think at that point in time, there is no what it is for him in OGC wasn't good. So you have to that marriage is already over. So they have to look for a way to move on. I think it was him and Jeremy Boga. So
Yes.
I think Boga has now moved on to Juventus. So like there's nothing that will happen after us. For me, I think it's good. See, clubs still look at the Portuguese league to see exactly, especially Porto, Sporting, and Benfica, to see who and who can actually will still compete at the European level.
Yeah.
This is Samu Agara you're talking about. Big clubs are still looking for to get the signature, in Europe. So for me, if Terry Murphy goes there and perform well, I think he can even relaunch his career back to Europe. And also, too, I'm hearing that he's teaming up with his former coach in FC Porto. I don't know, maybe the coach they have worked with the manager before. So for me, I think he's going back to his. Sometimes you have to make that type of move to relaunch yourself. I think the French league is not the best for him now. For me, I think just need to relaunch himself and move on to a different club side, maybe probably later.
Yeah. No, and I mean, I agree. Once the situation happened with the fans in Nice, I knew the writing was on the wall that he was going to leave. Would I have liked him to maybe stay in one of the top 5 leagues? Yes. But we also know that since his injury, Murphy hasn't really been able to hit the heights that we believed that he could hit, and also the heights that he hit in Lorient, and even getting him his move to OGC Nice in the first place. You're also
Mm-hmm.
right to say that he's going to be linking up with his former coach in Francesco Farioli, who
Mm-hmm.
was the coach of Nice between 2023 and 2024. So
Mm-hmm.
this could spell good things for him. Samu is also a 21-year-old, so maybe if he just go there as a small boy, let me show you the way, let me show you how things are done, and maybe he can get a starting shirt. Or even if it is going to be, bit part opportunities here and there that will get him his chance, that could be a good one for him as well. Porto are also in the next round, the round of 16 of the UEFA Europa League. So they'll probably register him for the next round of the Europa League, and he'll be able to apply his trade in Europe and maybe score some goals there as well. So I think it's overall it's a decent move. It's been interesting to see how things pan out. I really hope that everything goes well for him. If you've heard me speak in the past, Smith Layi knows this. A lot of people that are watching know this. I rate Terry Murphy highly as a football player. It's just that unfortunately in football, your ability is not enough to take you all the way. There's many other factors, health, coaching, the team that you play for, many other factors that determine how far a player goes in his career. But ability wise, I've always believed that Terry Murphy is a player with the ability. So I'm really rooting for him. I'm hoping that things go well. I'm hoping that he's able to bang in Porto, and then from there we can see him maybe in the Super Eagles again. We can see him maybe move to another club in 1 or 2 years. And his career started fast and it kind of slowed down a little bit. So I'm really hoping that it can pick back up and at least can maintain a steady speed rather than slowing down. But yes, wish him all the best, Terry Murphy. We'll be watching you for sure, for sure. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about some of the transfers that happened on deadline day. Deadline day was a busy day. Number of Nigerian players moved. Victor Rakpo moved on loan to Nancy. So shout out to Victor Rakpo for that one. We wouldn't really get into him. He's a young player, still looking for his feet. We also had Uchenna Ogundu joining FC Augsburg in the German Bundesliga from Alanyaspor. Uchenna Ogundu is a 19-year-old striker. He was playing in the Turkish league. He has 2 goals and 2 assists so far this season for Alanyaspor. And FC Augsburg have decided to take a chance on him. They've trusted him. He has signed a deal until 2031, and he'll be looking to really make a mark in the German Bundesliga. I mean, we're always asking for Nigerian players to move to the top 5 leagues, and this is a young player who is taking that step. Smilai, what are your thoughts on Uchenna Ogundu to Alanyaspor? So that to FC Augsburg.
Good player, good player. I know that the numbers did not really speak well. Say 2 goals in 17 appearances to go. But for me, I think he's a very, very good player. It's a boy that came from Diamond, was it Diamond Academy?
Yes,
back home in Nigeria now. And he's a guy that did not really get the opportunity to play for Nigeria at any underage level. Just came there for trials, and he has been on the rise. So if you still see, looking at his pictures then, when he was in Diamond Academy, very young player. So for me, I think it's just for him to go and do well. When I went deep to the reason why they signed him, so they went through data. He said they identified him, and they realized that it can be somebody like there's a player all this imposing forward. He can also play as a right winger.
Yes, he can.
In some situations too. So for me, it's a player we have to actually watch out for. He's been doing very well. The numbers might not even speak well, but for Naija, he has been doing very well. So now he's in the Bundesliga. It's now time for him to show that, okay, you know what? I have better teammates. I can even do better than what I actually did in the past. So it's good. It's good, He'll be teaming up with another Nigerian player that plays for RB Leipzig, So that's Sonny Sulaiman. So he will have contingents now in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, I'm happy for him. I'm excited for him. If you've been following Ego Striker on social media, you've definitely seen us post about him, in certain times that he's had good performances for Alanyaspor. Even from the previous season, before he even joined Alanyaspor, you could already see the quality that he had. Then he was playing for Salim Faspor in the Turkish second league. He's a good player. He's quite physical, has those good physical traits. His link-up play can be better, but he shows that he has some of that ability in him. And he's a guy that honestly can do well enough. Augsburg is not the best team in the German Bundesliga. Yes, I'm very aware of that. But I think that they have a good enough team around them. We saw, of course, another Nigerian player went there last season and had a fine time playing from the midfield in Franco Onyeka. So I think ability to play as a center forward, also play as a right winger. He has drawn comparisons to somebody like Victor Osimhen. Um, I think it could be a good player, and he's a threat from set pieces. Well, the guy is like 6'2" or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. So it could be a very, very, very interesting one. It could be a very interesting one. And I think he also has a decent long shot. And of course contributing defensively from defensive set pieces. But yeah, while he has things that he can improve on, I already mentioned, his link up play can be better, his finishing can also be better. But again, he has attributes that you're looking for in a good player. And it's all about how he can go there to apply himself, how he can keep training, keep working hard to improve. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he grows. Honestly, like I'm looking forward to him. I can't complain. I like when I see young players, when I see Nigerian players joining good teams, and hopefully they are able to fight for their spot in those good teams. So yes, Uchena, we're wishing you all the very best, and of course we will be following you closer than ever. Okay, moving on. A Super Eagles player made a move on this deadline day. The particular one that I'm talking about is Ayodele Joseph Aribo. Joe Aribo, the 29-year-old Super Eagles midfielder who has been away from the spotlight for a little bit of time now. He has completed a loan move to Leicester City in the EFL Championship. You can see him with a big smile on his face, hoping to finally be able to play some football. Joe Aribo to Leicester City. Smilai, your thoughts?
Good, I'm happy. I think the move from Rangers to Southampton did not really work well for him. Maybe probably it's not just meant to be, but still, it's a good move for him. What Garibo needs now is to play regularly. You know, for you to know that the last time you were able to play for Nigeria was during the AFCON in Cameroon. It was unplayable during the AFCON. In fact, it was like our Alex Iwobi now. The
Mm.
Iwobi that just finished this AFCON. So I'm happy that he's going to be getting some playing time, which is actually what very good. We know what fit and confident Joe Aribo can do for Nigeria. A very, very good player. A ball carrier, very intelligent player. So for me, I just hope that he plays more. See, Leicester are not doing currently well. They're not doing well now in the championship. But with the squad they have, they can do better. It's that it's Andy King that requested them to get him. Andy King is also, he played for Leicester in their championship winning team season. So he's a midfielder, and I'm midfielder. He knows exactly what to expect too from somebody like Joe Aribo. So I hope that Aribo can play very well. I know that they used to have this or play for them. So Aribo is similar to that type of player. I mean, he's
Left
probably
left footed as well.
left-footed as well. So maybe probably they want to replace him with this Bill.
Mm.
Replace Bill with him.
Yeah. I think for me, Aribo, I'm just happy that he's probably going to go somewhere that he's going to play football. So far this season, I think he's made about 7 appearances throughout the season, playing in the championship that they're already on like match with 2026 or something crazy like that. And has only been able to play 7 games. When he joined Southampton, we had a lot of hope for him because obviously he was joining a team in the English Premier League. They went down to the Championship. He came back up to the Premier League again with them. They went down to the Championship again. But you can kind of see that he just never really was a settled player in the Southampton squad. His place never seemed to be assured. And last season was a very, very, very sketchy one for him. Trying playing on a very, very bad team, and even the times that he was doing decently enough, the rest of the team just looked out of it. And now at 29 years old, he's at a time where he needs to be playing football because maybe he has one more contract left in him, one more good contract left in him. So he needs to be playing football. This is a guy that has a lot of quality. For me, I always say, look, ability is not enough. I said that earlier in the show. But when a player has shown that he has the ability, I can't doubt that player. I saw it at Rangers. I saw this boy go to the Europa League final as a key, if not the key player for Rangers. So I know that he has it in him. I know that he has it in him. I just hope that he can express himself at Leicester and he can bring out that player that we know is there. A player that can drive with the ball, a player that can chip in with goals here and there. that can get assists. I like Joe Aribo, and I hope that this move is the move that is going to revitalize him and is going to put his career back on track. And regardless of what happens, look, Southampton should just let him go. For me, it's even a bit surprising that it took this long for a permanent transfer to. No, it's not even a permanent transfer, it's a loan. But it's a bit surprising that it took this long for the move to happen. But at least it has happened now. He should just refocus. Aribo is not a loud guy, he's a quiet, soft-spoken guy, but child of God, but hopefully he can toughen up a little bit and really, really show that he's still who we think or who we thought he was. So yes, best of luck to Joe Aribo, and I'm going to be following him for sure at Leicester City. Of course, Nigeria and Leicester City, we have a connection with them because of our previous players that have played and done well there. All right, all right, all right. Let us move on and talk about another transfer. Charles, I see your comment. I'll have to come back to it. But talk about another transfer. Another player with a lot of potential has made a move. This guy almost is like he does not like to stay in one place. But I'm talking about Philip Otele. Philip Otele has taken his talents all the way this time to Germany, and he has signed for Hamburger SV in the German Bundesliga. More Nigerian players going to the Bundesliga. Philip Otele has joined on loan for the rest of the season with an option to buy after the loan move. Now, this one, the Basel fans were not happy at all, because they felt like he was being selfish. They felt like he was just going for the money. They felt like he wasn't loyal to the team. That's the team that essentially brought him back to Europe and put him in the spotlight a little bit. So what the Basel fans say is that because they got knocked out of the Europa League, he just decided that he doesn't want to go there again because the Swiss league doesn't have that many eyes on it. So now that they're not in the Europa League, at least if he goes to Hamburg and is in the German Bundesliga, they will see him more than if he's playing in the Swiss league. That's what the Basel fans are saying, and it was a selfish move on his part. But for me, as an observer, I think that obviously I want him to play in the Bundesliga than in the Swiss Super League. He is a dynamic player. He's an interesting forward. He is a guy that has always split opinions. Some people look at him and see the natural ability that he has and think that he's a guy that even maybe should have already been in the Super Eagles picture in the past. But I've also heard a lot of people that are not fully convinced on Philip Otele and on what he can do. So for me, a move like this to Hamburger is a move that he can really use to show himself that, look, don't forget the fact that I was doing this in Switzerland. I can actually do it at a high level. He's going to be teaming up with Joran Torunariga, over there in the Bundesliga in Hamburger. And look, this season, I'm looking at their fixtures. They still have Union Berlin to play. They have Leipzig, they have Leverkusen, they have Dortmund, Augsburg, So they're going to play some interesting matches, and we're going to really see what Philip Otele is made of. I'm happy for him. I wish him all the best. And for his own sake, with the fans of Basel, I hope that he does well so that they can buy him permanently and he does not have to go back and face the people that he has disappointed because he requested this move. So I hope that it is made permanent at the end of the day. But yes, Smith, your thoughts, Philip Otele to Hamburger SV.
Good. And this is what we call ambition. You really want to be relevant. You remember that we discussed this on this show when we went to the Gulf to go and take money. He came back. I don't know, maybe the money is too hot. He came back after 6 months to come back to Switzerland. He has been performing well. You argue that people think that, Basel, you can't compare with Chukwueze, you can't compare. But now that it's in top 5 European leagues now we can talk. If he's scoring, he's doing well, why not? So, and for him to want to go and play in the German Bundesliga, I think the boy is setting his sight on national team call-up. You also want to have that on his CV. Don't forget, he's a late bloomer. He's not the young star that just started. I think he came from Romania to the Gulf, to Switzerland. He's a journeyman already. So I think this is the time that he can get national team call-up and compete for a place, in the national team. So for him to go there, it's good. It's good. And I'm actually impressed. I knew that Fulham wanted him, but they went for this boy, Bobby. Is it Bobby? Because he was, boy, I played for Man City before.
Oscar
I think
Bob.
it's called Oscar Bob. Sorry, Oscar Bob. Yeah, they went for that one instead. So I'm happy that he's in Yamaha Bundesliga. Now I'll go and follow Hamburg on social media, and I will start following them and watching their games too. I'm happy, really happy for him.
Mm. Really happy for him. It's time for him to prove himself. And maybe, just maybe, that Super Eagles club will be in his future. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Best of luck to Philip Otele. Okay, let us move on. We spoke about a player joining Augsburg. Let's talk about another player who played for Augsburg last season. Frank the Tank, Frank Onyeka. He has taken his talents to play with another Frank, or to play under another Frank, in Frank Lampard at Coventry City in the EFL Championship. Frank Onyeka, of course, needed a move. Barely getting any game time at Brentford. Of course, we know that he's still one of the best midfielders that Nigeria has. But we also want our players to not just be warming the bench, to be playing as often as possible. And he gets a chance to do this for Coventry City. It is an initial loan move. However, the move will be made permanent if Coventry City achieve promotion to the English Premier League. Coventry City are currently top of the league. They are level on points with Middlesbrough. And I will say this, I'm happy for him, one, for game time's sake. The fact that he's going to get to play games, I'm very happy about that. Two, he's playing under Frank Lampard. Look, Frank Lampard has worked wonders with Alex Iwobi in the past. Maybe he can do the same with Frank Onyeka and can turn Frank Onyeka into a better midfielder than he already is. And three, the best team in the championship is better than the worst team in the Premier League. I will tell you that. So for me, there's no, because I saw some people on social media were saying, oh, he's going to the championship. Trust me, all due respect to other people, but who is playing for Wolves is in a worse position than who is playing for Coventry City right now. One, Coventry City is probably going to beat Wolves because Wolves suck. Two, is a different mentality. Though the league is lower, there's a different mentality when you are playing for a team that is winning, for a team that is actually competing, versus when you are playing for a team that before every match, I don't know, say you go lose. So I like the fact that he's going to be playing for a winning team. He's going to be playing for a team that is challenging for the title. And he's going to be playing under a very, very good coach and even greater player when he was a player. I wish him all the best. I really want Frank Onyeka to succeed. I've been bigging up Frank Onyeka. I can still remember when I started talking about Frank Onyeka and almost nobody knew who he was. And I just believe that the guy has a lot that he can offer. When they asked him what can the fans expect, he said they can expect Frank the Tank. He's just going to bring his energy. He's going to run that midfield. We saw him do it in the Bundesliga last season, for Augsburg. So you wonder why he cannot get into the Brentford side, but at least he can get into the Coventry City side. He can win promotion with them to the Premier League, and he might be in the Premier League again next season. Smith Layi, what are your thoughts on Frank the Tank Onyeka to Coventry City?
I'm happy for him. I think you said everything about game time, about playing that Frank Lampard. I don't want to imagine how the conversation would be like when he was trying to convince him to join Coventry City. You see how we play, I can work with you too, things like that. So for me, I'm happy for him. But I'm just slightly worried about Coventry. I think there was a time that they were probably 7 points ahead of Middlesbrough. They're now level 1 points. So it's just slightly on the down. So let's see exactly, maybe can add still to that midfield and they can be able to compete more. But it's good for Frank Onyeka to play. People complain about the championship. But Wilfred, did he play one season in the championship now?
Yeah.
And he became one of the Nigerian best and the most important player in the last AFCON. So anybody can go for a retreat. Onyeka has played in the Champions League before, so he's not a newbie. Played in the Premier League before, so he has played in Bundesliga before. So what else again did you want, from Frank Onyeka? So for me, I just think that he just need more game time. I think Frank Onyeka not being fit even affected our World Cup campaign. Yes.
So yes, we're wishing Frank Onyeka all the very best as he takes this new step in his career. I have a super chat comment here. I'm going to take from Charles. Charles, you're asking two questions in one super chat. You're trying to cheat the system. So I'll I'll take only your first question. But he says, why is Ahmed Abdullahi not playing for Sunderland? Could it be about work permits?
No,
I,
it's not.
it's not work permit because I know he was on the bench at the start of the season for their Carabao Cup game. So if it
Hmm.
was a work permit issue, he couldn't even have been on the bench at
Yeah.
that time. So it's been like, do you have any information for us? I think I was also hearing about some rumors of transfer for him this January, but nothing
Yeah.
official happened. So what do you have about it?
Someone was trying to sell one player and see maybe probably can play the player in the first team. He has been doing well for the under 21s, but it's not better than the ones they have in there. If they want to compete still, they need those guys that are playing currently to keep firing. Then they want to sell. I think Brosby, is it Bobby? They want to
Brian
actually what
Bobby.
sell. Yeah, but at the end of the day, I don't think the guy moved, so he will probably still be in the reserve team for them. It's a good player, but he needs to still work hard. Premier League level is not small. It was playing academy football in Belgium, not even first field football, so there's still a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, they're still catching up to do, and he's still 21 years old.
Hmm.
Obviously, some of his mates are already playing first team, but hopefully, he can find his way at Sunderland, or if not, maybe in the summer he can find a move or a loan move at least somewhere, so that he can get playing. But yes, thank you for the super chat comment, Charles. Much, much, much appreciated. At this juncture, I just want to remind you guys to please hit the like button. Please, please, please hit the like button. If you're enjoying the stream, hit the like button. Even if you're not enjoying it, hit the like button. They come out anything from your body, and it goes a long way for the channel. And of course, you can also join the channel as a member. Members get priority access to videos. Members also get priority responses to their comments, as well as exclusive giveaways and so much more that we have lined up for 2026. So join Eagle Tracker as a choose your preferred tier, and we'll make sure that you get your value for your money. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And of course, you can always just send a super chat if you just want to support, even if you don't have a question to ask or something that you want us to highlight. Super chats are always appreciated, regardless of the reason. But please, guys, like, less than 30% of people that are watching have liked the video. So please hit the like button. Okay, let's wrap up on the transfers very quickly so that we can get people to come and share their thoughts. Let's wrap up on the transfers. Two more transfers that I want us to talk about. Two more transfers that I want us to talk about. The first one, it is a guy that I'm so happy for, honestly. Like, I'm just happy with the trajectory that his career is going in. I'm talking about Tochiko Inadi. The boy, 22 years old, has now joined Olympique de Marseille in the French Ligue 1. Tochiko Inadi, from playing in Botev Plovdiv, making a move to Zolta Waregem, getting his chance to play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria at the just concluded AFCON, and now taking his talents to the French Ligue 1. Marseille got rid of Angel Gomez. He went to Wolves, and they've brought in Tochiko Inadi in that their midfield. Is going to wear the number 6 jersey for the club. This is a guy that I remember interviewing him. Quick plug, you can watch my interview on YouTube with Tochiko Inadi. I interviewed him after the Under 20 World Cup that he was a part of. And he was just talking about like how he knows he needs to be humble, he needs to work hard, he wants to be a great player, he wants to achieve great things. And it seems like he's doing all of those things, and his career is taking the right trajectory that you expect his career to take. And hopefully, knock on wood, it continues moving like that. But again, another Nigerian player going to a top five league team, another opportunity for him to impress. I don't think that he'll be able to play in their playoff round. I'm not sure. Did they wait?
Okay.
Did they make the playoffs or the Champions
No,
League?
no, they crashed
Okay,
out.
they knocked out when Benfica scored that
Mhm.
late goal, right? Okay, so he's just going to be playing in the French league for this season. But I'm really, really hoping that he can show himself good, man. Like, this is a guy that has a lot of talent, calm on the ball, aggressive off the ball, and a lot of potential to still grow and become a much, much, much better player. So I'm really, really rooting for him. But similarly, what are your thoughts on Tochiko Inadi's move to Olympique de Marseille?
I'm happy for me. People might argue, but I think this is probably my best transfer of the window because everything just fits, towards we hope for the guy. I'm a very big fan of this particular player. I remember somebody sending me his video camp when he was in Campus Academy or so. Back in Nigeria, then he was so tiny. So this guy is a complete young guy. He was so tiny. I think very tiny. Was doing his own thing then. But now look at if it was look at now 7 years after playing, he's going to be playing in the Olympic Marcel. So he's a guy that they also use data to actually want to get him. You can see spot that this guy is very good. You remember that when he went to the under 20 World Cup, he was playing in Bulgaria for Botev
Yeah.
Plodiv. And before he even went to the under 20 World Cup, there was a guy in that under 20 World Cup that he displaced, Onushi Ogelu.
Yeah.
So like, so to tell you his level. So in fact, he became the best midfielder in that team. Even Aido Daga. So I'm really actually happy, very happy for him. I just hope that he gets more playing time. We also had a player that has moved to the French League too in the past. That is Amzat wrong. We thought that coming from Hungary, from Nigeria, that's international, he's going to do well too. But things didn't work out for him in RC lands. But this is Marcel is big. Marcel is big. We've had the rich history of Nigerian players in Marcel in the past. Of recent is Taye Ismaila Taiwo. We also had wins in Oruma. And that's actually was same Marcel team. So I hope that things work out well for him. Marcel also have rich history of African players, which you can have. The Drogba played for Olympic de Marcel. So there's a lot of players that play
Right
for
now, they
Marcel.
still have the likes of Aubameyang, playing for them. They have Hamed Traore, the Ivorian boy that is there. So yes, they're
Yes.
very good with Africans.
Yeah. So for me, I'm really actually happy for him. It's nice growth for him. I like the way he snubbed the Western move. A nice growth for him. I just hope that he can actually continue to do well and get his starting spot as soon as possible.
Yeah, amazing. And once again, if you haven't checked out my interview after this live, go check out my interview with Tochiko Nadi. Fantastic young player, with a good story and has all the tools to succeed. So I'm really, really happy for him. All right. Let's wrap up with
Sorry, even people too, so you check. You didn't say anything about his transfer, but I just want to remind you of the Chibuke Nwawu. He also was also on your show. He's now in Transport. I've been doing so well too for Transport.
Yes, you can check out the Unwai Chibuke interview as well. That's on the podcast, and yeah, that would be a fantastic one. After the stream, or don't leave now. Leave after the show. Okay. If you want to join the show this evening, the link has now been posted. So please click on so that we know how many people that we're getting before we get into the calls. Please join now so that we know how many people we're getting. The link has been posted. Just make sure that you have good lighting. We can see your face. Make sure that you are fully dressed. And we'll give you the opportunity to share your thoughts on any of the transfers or any of the other topics that we have discussed today. Yes, so please call in now if you would like to join the stream. The link has been posted and is pinned in the comment section on YouTube. All right, but let us end the transfer talk with the biggest one, the one that we've been waiting for, the one that a lot of people were wondering, where is he going to end up? They were talking about Galatasaray, they were talking about Fenerbahce and all sorts of other teams that came into the conversation. But ultimately, the former African Player of the Year has taken his talents to Madrid. I'm of course talking about Ademola Lookman. He has joined Atletico de Madrid in the Spanish La Liga on a permanent transfer from Atalanta BC. Of course, we know that the marriage between Atalanta and Ademola Lookman was surely coming to an end. Several, not just one, multiple incidents that occurred that just showed the fracture in the relationship. We remember the public statements that he put out there when he essentially said that the club was throwing him under the bus. We remember the fights that he had with his coach on the sidelines. It's so much that went wrong. Ultimately, Ivan Juric came and got him to put his head down and just focus on football. I remember speaking about this in the past and saying, that ultimately for Ademola Lookman to maintain his market value, he needs to be playing. and I'm happy that he and the club were able to put their pettiness aside and just allow him to keep playing. And now he has taken his talents to Madrid and is going to play for Atletico de Madrid, playing for a good team, currently third in the Spanish La Liga. Of course, Atletico Madrid, a team that competes on all fronts in Europe as well. And, he has opportunity to play alongside interesting players, the likes of Julian Alvarez, the likes of Antoine Griezmann, the likes of Thiago Almada, Giuliano Simeone, Koke. So he has quality around him, and it's going to be very interesting to see where and how he fits in. I think that with Antoine Griezmann currently being out, it's a good opportunity for Lookman to come and fit in well. Alvarez is one of the most exciting players in Europe right now, so he's going to be playing alongside some interesting talent. And we know that Diego Simeone is a very dogged coach, and is a coach that expects a lot and makes his team work hard. They'll likely be playing a lot of transition football, so it's going to be interesting to see how that works. But we also are aware of the fact that Ademola Lookman is very good on the counter attack. He has individual quality. He can link up with teammates very well. He presses well. So, when I first saw that he was joining Atletico de Madrid, I was like, am I loving Atletico as a team for Lookman? But the more I think about it, the more I think that this is a match that can actually end up being a very, very good one. And I'm just looking forward to it, man. I see, again, like I say, when a player has shown me that he has ability, I'm not going to all of a sudden stop believing in him. And Ademola Lookman has shown that he has ability, so I will continue to believe in him. He's a very good player. He continues to deliver for his club despite all the situations. And now going to a new team, a fresh start, I'm expecting him to deliver once again. I'm expecting goals, I'm expecting assists, I'm expecting highlights. And, ultimately, maybe he can go and be on the podium again when we're talking about the CAF Player of the Year award. Shout out to Ademola Lookman. Congratulations on the move, and I wish him all the best. Smith Layi, your thoughts, Ademola Lookman to Atletico de Madrid?
Congratulations to Ademola Olajire Lookman. I'm happy that the day I decided to play for Nigeria, his life changed. That is it. Some people ignore Nigerian call up. They're in Denmark now. I'm not using but another thing I want to say is this. AyoT, you've said everything. I want something. Please, congrats to Lookman. And don't use him to abuse anybody. Because I've been seeing that pattern. I've been going online, some people are becoming so controversial, that he ignored the money of Fenerbahce. He went for football with Atletico Madrid. He wants to stay in proper Europe. Please, situations in life are different, completely different. What is facing you is different from what is facing the other person.
Yes.
So, but congrats to Lookman. Let's celebrate Lookman. And let us just take any shine away from him and try to slag any other person. I'm happy for Lookman to be playing for Atletico. He's going to be playing on that game. So, see, Lookman press the ball. But if he loses the ball, he press the ball hard. So, I think Lookman will fit into Sigurdsson minutes. He has been looking for Iwobi and Lookman for a very long time. He wanted Lookman first. Things didn't happen. They have to. I think when they drew 0-0 against Levante, they added money to bring. They want to bring Lookman. So I'm happy that he's playing there and also playing also other manager that believes in hard work. Because Simeone is not a small player. And Atletico Madrid have been in Champions League final for so many times. How many times has Atlanta played in Champions League final? How many times have they even played somewhere? So I'm happy that he's going to compete in a very good way. So see, he's playing in the top best team in England, in Spain. He's going to be playing against Rafinha, the Lamine Yamal of this world, and everything. So at least he might even be African Player of the Year soon again. If he also perform well, yes.
So yes, fantastic one. Shout out to Ademola Lookman. Wishing him all the best. For me, I think obviously this is the blockbuster transfer as far as Nigerian players are concerned in this January transfer window. So, like he said, his most exciting transfer is Tochukwu Nadi to Marseille. With good reason, of course. Lookman is already an established name, whereas Tochukwu Nadi was seeing a young player get an opportunity to go and establish himself in one of Europe's storied clubs, because Marseille historically is a very well known team, and of course they are trying to come back right now and really do something in a French league. So very, very interesting one. I can't run through all the transfers this window, unfortunately. But of course, the ones that we did not talk about, we have those like Sani Suleiman, Durosimi, Umayewu, Sadiq, Ojedinron. We have some female players in Michelle Alozie, Chinakanu, Nico Payne, Halimatu Ayinde. We have Ekong that moved, and many, many
And
other
Genge.
players that made. Leonard Ngenge also joined. I think we'll do a post on our social media where we'll, list out Nigerian players that made moves this January, just so that people can keep up in case they haven't been following the way we have been following. So yes, that is it for the conversation for today. I have two super chat comments to take very, very quickly. Charles is asking, how true is the Onwachu Juventus interest? Smilai, do you want to take
Yes,
how
yes.
true Onwachu to Juventus?
They made the last minute inquiry. I think they were trying to get a particular player. So they realized that Uchunachu is the final option. So they went for Nacho. I think Nacho too is interested in going to Juventus, but they couldn't get the word line before the window. And so that's it.
All right, that's that. And then 8K9249 is asking us, taking us a little bit off what we were discussing, but he's saying, what are your thoughts on Daniel Daga's unfortunate situation in Norway? Another young Nigerian footballer's career being derailed by SA. Bismillah, is that something you want to touch on?
Yeah, it's I spoke to people that know him, people around him, and I said that this time around he did do these things so that you know exactly the challenge to actually take. According to reports, Twitter person is listening to me and I said that he's at his starting free season. Now they're saying that he does something. I'm not sure that he's just trying to try and cover it by himself. I think it's really unfortunate that this is actually what happened to him. I think his friend, he said his friend, girlfriend's friend. I mean, how would I put that one? You know, uh, how would I his friend, the girlfriend of his friend, that friend's girlfriend. So our friend girlfriend. So they are just I don't know what happened between the two of them. But the whole thing now turned to something that is now things that the club will plan to suspend him and everything. It's a player that has just left Nigeria. It's not even up to 1 year. So, why is this one actually what happening? I just think that it's highly unfortunate for a player that is very talented. We rated him highly more than even Tochukwu Nadi, in that Flying Eagles midfield. But it's really unfortunate for him. I'm very disappointed, and I just hope that it doesn't end like a Akumpumi Amao, situation that is now in the second division in the Chinese league. I don't know maybe he's still there now. So it's like career, ending even before it started. What is
Mm.
it?
Mm.
So sad, so sad.
Me, I'll not talk too much. Look, I don't know the full details of the situation, but I'm not going to come and defend anybody without knowing what happened. I'm also not going to condemn him. What I
Yeah,
will just say is that, look, Nigerian players, focus on your football, man. Focus on your football. Keep your hands to yourself. Keep your parts in your clothes. Just focus on the business that pays you. The business that pays you is football. Stop letting all these young girls distract you. Stop letting all these Oyinbo girls distract you. Even black girls, don't let them distract you. Just focus on the business that pays you. If it is not true love, then leave it alone. Because when you go there, you think, oh, you are a young guy, you have some money now, and you want to now just be testing the waters, enjoying yourself. You do one or two bad things. This is how you end up in a situation like this. People like us, yes, we're not footballers, but we've managed to in our life, we've never had this kind of incident. So I know it's possible for you to go your whole career and not have incident. Mikel did not have incident. Indidi has not had incident. Simon has not had incident. So it is possible to do it. Just focus on the business that pays you. Focus on the business that pays you. Stop getting distracted. You've not reached anywhere yet. Now girl, they put you for a while. So for me, it's just unfortunate, man. I don't know. We need more training for our men as well to know what is yes, what is no. No is always no. Look, honestly, God, whatever justice should be served. That's my own. I won't say I wish him the best. Justice should be served. If he did what they say he did, then he deserves to be punished. If he did not do it, I hope that he's vindicated. But I pray for justice to be served. Okay, that's that on that. That's that on that. I have another comment here now. Charles is asking another question. See, Charles, that's how you do it, one by one. Thank you. Charles asking another. He says,
one by one, not together.
It says Smith expects a different Lookman. His games will improve. See how our players are making good moves to decent club. This is the essence of our national team performing well consistently. So he's saying that Lookman's game will improve at Atletico and that our players making good moves to decent clubs is what will help our national team to keep performing consistently.
Yeah, I also agree with that too. That national team doing very well. It will actually really help because see, no matter how you say it, AyoT, myself will say, okay, we are signing a Nigerian international.
Yes, now Super Eagles player.
Super good player. So that is it. So African Player of the Year, former African Player of the Year, immediate after before that's it. So national team performing well is a very, very big thing. So may it continue.
Amazing. Okay, let us take callers very, very quickly. We don't have many callers, it seems, today. So maybe you guys would have a little bit of an extended period of time to actually air your opinions on anything that we have discussed today. I'll start with Sheung. Welcome. You're muted. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Yes, go on.
Hello, can you hear me now? First of all, good morning, Layi and everybody. How are you doing today?
We're good. Okay.
Have you seen the transfer of Elikana to Saudi Arabia?
Yes.
Saudi Arabia. That young man from Monaco.
Yes, we saw that.
Have you seen that? That is crazy. That is crazy. At 19 Saudi Arabia. For what?
The numbers are crazy.
I was shocked when I see the news this morning. Yesterday morning, guy. So Saudi Arabia now, can you hear me?
Yes, go on.
Network is not network. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Let me come.
Okay.
I think he's hearing.
Let me come.
Because there was a bit of a delay, but
back.
I just wanted to continue.
Let me come back, please.
Okay. Sheung, go and come back quickly. While you are doing that, I'll take Theo. Mr. Theo, welcome.
Hey, Magayo. How you doing, Mr. Sweet?
It seems like it's been a while since I've seen your face.
My brother, work has finished me. Since we started this year, it's just been work. So I've not really had time. So today
January is a long month.
Oh my bro, it seemed like all the work from last year that we didn't accomplish, we got this month. So I've not really had the time. So hopefully I'm free today.
And thank you for joining.
Let me join you guys and listen to your program. And it's been an interesting watch. I've been listening to you guys, and especially the transfers. One of the things I'm really happy about is some of the moves our players have made. Respectable clubs. In the Bundesliga, the French Ligue 1. Some going to the Spanish league, and I think it's also going to be very good for our national team, because the quality of league that you play in makes your players more competitive because you're playing with one of the best of players in your league. So that will kind of strengthen us in a way. I used to recall in the past, in the late 90s and early 2000s, when we used to have a whole lot of players in the Serie A, the Spanish league, the English league. They were playing in like top 4 teams, and we saw how strong our teams were. So I think the influx of players playing in more quality teams, like in the Bundesliga, and the French league. It would enhance our players. If they are playing with the best, they'll be able to give that input into our national team. So I'm really, really happy to see all those transfers taking place, and they were not just mediocre moves, So that's one thing I'm really appreciative of. One of your shows I listened to, I don't know, I think it was a guest on your show. The man said something about Nigeria will never lack talent. In as much as we are a footballing nation and we are able to generate substantial amount of grassroots players, that will never lack qualitative player. The only thing that is really negating the development of Nigerian football is our administration and maybe I would say coaching. Those are the things that are really bedeviling the development of Nigerian football, administration and coaching. But talent-wise, we're always going to have talents. Just you only mentioned about just 34 transfers. We don't even talk about the ones that we don't even know about. That we don't even know about. There are even some that I know on a personal level, going to different clubs. But the thing is, we just need to get our act right. Nigeria has the capacity to be a dominant force, not just a regional force, a dominant force in the world. But what is just really killing our growth is administration and also the technical inputs. On discipline, I think that aspect is everywhere, in every aspect of walk of life. Me being here as a foreigner in another man's land, you have several challenges. You're facing the fact that you're a foreigner. You are competing against people who are in the system. You have to work 4 times as hard as your other mates. And even when you are even doing so well, there are even still people within the system who are still trying to downplay your efforts. They how much more you want to add in discipline to it, or following a wrong set of people who will now take you away from your real purpose in life. So I think that's one of the things that at times that kill most of Nigerian players. When they go abroad, they forget the real reasons why they go to a club or they go somewhere, that they are meant to accomplish a certain task, and they allow the moments that, oh, I'm here now, thinking that they have arrived, not knowing that your journey has just started. You are in an organization, you are meant to make use of that organization and grow yourself within that organization, whether it's a club or anywhere. So most of them just get so carried away, want to live the high life, and before you know it, they waste their careers. So discipline is very key in anything you do, whatever you want to achieve. If you are getting $1,000 now, aim to try and get 10,000. That should be the aim. And aiming to do that, that means you also have to be ready to develop yourself as a person.
Right.
So discipline is key. As a footballer, in any profession you do, if you are not disciplined, forget about it. Just forget. No magic. No matter how talented you are, that if discipline is not part of your way of life, just forget about it.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Theo. Thank you.
One question I want to ask before you guys go.
Okay,
please,
go on.
What is the latest development about this DR Congo stuff?
There's no development. When the development happens, we'll hear about it.
Okay, I'm not really keen about it, honestly.
So, time is almost up, so FIFA would have to say something very soon. Let's just wait.
Okay, all right. Thank you, guys.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Theo. Thank you. All right, Sheon, I'll bring you back on. You have a minute, and then after Sheon, I'll take X code for 3 minutes, and then Zizo B for 2.5 minutes, and then we'll wrap up for this evening as we are already short on time. So Sheon, wrap up please in 1 minute. Hello. 1 minute, please. 1 minute. Okay.
Your network is poor.
Sheon, I think Sheon, your network is working against you today. So your extra 30 seconds will go to Zizobi. So X code 3 minutes, and then Zizobi will have 3 minutes as well. X code, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Their network is something.
I greet everybody.
Yes.
Good morning. It's morning in Nigeria.
Yeah. Why is our network always like this in Nigeria?
Are you guys? Can you guys hear me?
We can
Yes,
hear
go
you.
on. Go on.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go on.
Can you people hear me?
Okay. X code. The network is not working for you. So Zizobi will get all the time. Zizobi will get 4 minutes. Let him just use everybody's time so that we can go this evening. Hello, Zizobi, welcome.
See that color?
Yeah.
Okay.
Smith.
Yeah, it's my brother.
What's up?
Yeah.
I think our Nigerian football, our future is bright. That's the only thing I know for Nigeria. Our future is bright. Look at the way even the ones that did not play enough in the AFCON, look at the way they are signing them. Even the ones that did not play, they did not even invite them. They still go into good clubs. That's the sign to show that our football has a future bright. You understand? So I think what I want to say is about the development in Africa. Africa, I don't know what is wrong with our leaders. Everybody is just packing money. Instead of them to invest it on their youth, build a stadium the way North Africans they are doing. They will prefer to embezzle the money. It's not good at all. It's not good. When it comes to Africa have resources that can sustain them in anything.
Sorry, I want to ask you a question, Zizo.
Yeah.
You said that it beats them. Name one state in Nigeria without stadium.
That is what I'm trying to. We don't have any. We have a lot of stadium, but our problem is the way. Well, once they build the stadium, finish the maintenance. Before you know this happening, they will just as in start losing everything. All the dashboard, all the whole thing, all the television, all the computer. They will start selling them. They will start using the facility for something that has nothing to do with sports. You understand? That's why all these things they embezzle all these things. They some of them they before you know what's happening, even the chart they are using to do substitute all these things, they will steal all of them. Nothing will remain. You will start using carbon sheet to do substitution. We have a long way to go, man. They need to do better. They need to do better. We have Africa have what it takes to build world-class stadium and maintain it. But what they are interested in is power. Even the ones that are in power, when they do finish, the ones that are coming will abandon all the things they put in place and start doing their own. All this kind of thing will not work. Even if somebody come up and now and say, I like sports, let me invest in sports. What about the person next to the person coming up? Is it going to continue from where the person stopped? That is the problem. I think that is the cause of all this that is happening in Africa, especially our West and maybe East African country. But it's not like this in the North. The North, once they stop, this person coming, will continue from where the other person stop. But it's not like this in other African country. Everything they're just doing politics. Instead of them to continue from where the person stop, they will abandon that one so that people will not say, oh, this person built this one when he was there. All this thing, it doesn't make any sense. Western world, they are developing continuation. There has to be a continuation in all we do. You understand? If you cannot finish it, the next person coming will continue from where you stop. But all these things, they abandon. How can we develop with all this kind of a thing? Imagine the way you are now. You are president of a nation. You build stadium, maybe 3, 4. Smith will come up and say, oh, I don't want them to praise Ayo. I want to continue. They will abandon all this maintenance and all this. Nobody will care about all the stadium Ayo build. Smith will continue from his own, continue with his own. Smith will do his own. Maybe he do 1 or 2. He goes. Me, I enter. I will say, oh, I don't want all this. I don't want to continue with their project. I will do my own. All these things, it will not work. It will not work. Africa has to learn, as in continuation is the key of in everything. With this, it will help us. Even all this stadium now you see Cote d'Ivoire used in African Cup of Nations. Before you know what, I give all those stadiums 4 years. They will not have one again. When this leader, their current leader goes now, the next one that are coming will abandon all this project.
Well, Zizobi, you have 30 seconds left. Sorry.
Yeah, the thing is hurting me. It's not good at all. But I wanted to say something about this guy that had the issue, that guy. When I had that news, I wasn't happy because I know the way all this Western world, the way they do with anything that has to do with assault. Once you are a footballer, when you get involved with it, your own is finished. Before you know what is happening, they will just discontinue whatever they are doing with you. Even in the workplace, that is the way they behave. Whether you are guilty or not guilty, they don't care. You understand? So it's a pity that somebody like him that come from Africa, that knows how players are praying and they seeking to go to Western world to play football, and he has the opportunity to come to Western world, and he is finding himself in this kind of situation. It's very sad. It's very sad. Yeah. That's the only thing I have to do. I pray that he come out of this thing as in on touch. Maybe because I don't know whether the contract he has with his club, they will terminate it.
I think his club is waiting for the outcome of the investigation before because the case is still going through the legal proceedings. So after then is when they will make a decision. Thank you very much. It'll be nice.
Pray for him. I pray nothing happened to him. He's still young and he has a bright future. He's a good player. I pray for him that nothing will happen to him, because we want somebody like him. He has the quality to be in our national team.
Talent is not enough. Character is very important.
Character, I know, but I don't want anything to happen to anybody.
Yeah,
that has the quality.
if it's we know how it works. Sorry, you know how this thing works. Fantastic player, I actually would love him, but you have to look at it from both sides too. AyoT, I don't know. AyoT is a part-time lawyer. He knows the rules. So you have to look at it from both sides. So look at the victim too in cases. But if it's innocent, I think it deserves to his hearing, and it deserves his freedom too.
Yeah. So I just pray for him that nothing will happen. They will not find him guilty of anything. If not, these people, they will finish him. If they found anything against him, they will finish him. He will not play any in any way again.
Yeah. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you
Yeah,
very
thank
much, Zoe. Thank
Yeah,
you.
take care.
Cheers. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we're already over time, but a quick super chat comment here from Charles. Question is asking. It says, Smith, is it true that Mohamed Sanusi wants to resign after frequent underachievement with the team? Talking about the general secretary of the NFF. Is it true that he wants to resign?
I want to ask him the kind of question again. They resign in Nigeria. That is true now. If people resign in Nigeria, it's difficult. You're on $10,000 per month. People go change their age and still be working at the age of like 7-something years because they want to be there. People don't resign in Nigeria. All those things are just making. Maybe probably then they give you the walk up hope back. You say, don't go, please stay. All those things, I don't believe in that. He will not resign. How can you be on $10,000 per month? That's economy.
10,000 is the official salary.
Yeah, and you want to resign all those private travel, going to FIFA headquarters, going to WAFU, be recognized everywhere. See, it's the most popular gensec in Africa. Honestly, everybody talks about him. I was listening to that little guy said, the only person I know in the NFF is Sanusi, is Dr. Sanusi. You talk about this one, is Dr. Sanusi. Talk about this one, Dr. Sanusi. He's so popular anywhere in Africa. He's so connected. So when I started, it's Sanusi. They don't even know Guso. It's Sanusi. It's also Sanusi. Dr. Sanusi. Everybody. You think he wants to just that privilege? If it's you, will you resign? You not resign.
Okay, that's at that point, man, we're going to end tonight's episode of the Naija FC podcast. It's been a pleasure. Shout out to all the Nigerian players that have made transfers, man. I'm wishing them all the very best. Of course, we'll be on every week to talk about their performances and to let you guys know who's balling and who is not. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has stayed and tuned in for this episode. Even if you are watching on replay, we appreciate you still. Shout out to all the super chats comments from Charles, from Adedamola, 8K92. We really appreciate it. It goes a long way, even if you're not able to leave super chats. If you liked the video, we appreciate you as well. However, if you've been watching us for the whole 2 hours and you've not still liked the video, that one I don't appreciate. I don't appreciate it. I've said it many times for it. So if you still haven't liked the video, like it now. Thank you very much.
They can also drop super thanks.
You can also leave super thanks if you're watching on replay. But yes, we appreciate everyone that takes the time to engage with the content. Like I've been saying, lots of plans for Eagle Striker in the year 2026. I have I'm recording 2 interviews this week, so we should have enough content. I'm also going to drop an interview with Rashida Ajibade ahead of the WAFCON 2026.
Who are we looking up to? Who is the interview going to be? Is it a surprise?
I don't want to, because I don't know the order in which I'm going to drop them. But I've promised you guys Leon Balogun. I've promised you guys Leon Balogun. It's so funny. We would have done Leon Balogun's interview already, but he got injured. He broke his face. I don't know if you saw. He made a post on his social media. So he just underwent surgery. So we have to wait for him to recover before we are able to do it. But Leon Balogun is coming. Sani Keita is coming. I still spoke with him a few days ago. Sani Keita is coming. So yes, we have Rashid Ajibade is coming. Juwon Oshaniwa is coming. Sunday Mba probably coming as well. Probably going to do with Obina and Sofo. We're trying to work that out. And more and more that will come. The yak is still there. So it'll be an exciting year for
look at that yak interview is going to be.
So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you check out the home of Nigerian Football Podcast. If you've not been watching our previous interviews, we have so much content that is there that is still evergreen for you to consume. You can go and watch the interview with Nadi. You can watch the interview with Chibuike and Wainwu. You can watch. I've interviewed Afiza Remo. Most of these players that are making transfers.
What was that?
It was maybe 2021 that I interviewed him also.
Okay.
So yes, you can check out lots of content. Any Super Falcons player, from the Ajibades to the Ochebes to the Pains, both Pain sisters, to Plumter, to Echegini, to Alozi, to Koronkwo. I've done interviews with all of them. So check it out. Lots of content. just go to our podcast tab on our YouTube homepage, and then of course you'll be able to navigate and see all of the home of Nigerian football podcast content. It's been a pleasure. Shout out to Adeyemi for the last minute super chat. Much appreciated. Smith Layi, final word from you before we go.
Yeah, like you said, wish our players the very best of luck. Just move a new club now. We hope that so that when you just move to a new house, you say that may that house give you good luck. Also pray that Nadi, Lookman and so on, Hotele, that they can actually shine in that club and become, a better player, and also a better player for Nigeria too. So shout out to the listeners too that who are just finishing from work, just joining. But welcome, you can watch this thing play. So shout out to those that have been here for the past 2 hours. 2 hours is not easy. If you go and do 1 hour job, you know how much it will pay you. For you to be here for 2 hours, shout out to you.
Yeah, shout out to you. So yes, that's it. Thank you to every single person. We'll be back next week, of course, Friday. Gone Football, Friday Night Football Club. And let me just also say this last minute announcement. So I was talking to my team, and we're definitely going to bring back our trivia show. In this February, probably we're going to resume our trivia show where you have a chance to win money. So we're going to be you have a chance to win 100,000 naira every week. And then we'll then do like semi-final and then finals where we bring back the top contenders, and then they'll have a chance to win maybe 500,000 as the grand prize, or maybe 1 million if we get good sponsorship. So we'll see how that goes. But the ultimate Nigerian football game show is coming back. It's definitely coming back. So stay tuned for that one as well. We're still trying to figure out the best time slot for it, but it is definitely coming back. So stay tuned. Follow us across all our social media, Eagle Striker NG on Instagram, Eagle Striker on Facebook, ET Media NG on Twitter, X, Eagle Striker NG on TikTok, and of course on our YouTube channel as well. This has been a pleasure. This has been the Naija FC Podcast. My name is AyoT. My co-host is
Smith Layi. Thank you guys.
We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you.